We're back for another episode of ROBEAR'S Random Record Pull. And what does Robert have for us today, we may ask? Ah, yes. Another one of my favorites, Bombers 2, the second, as you probably figured out, album from Montreal-based disco outfit, the Bombers. This was recorded in Montreal, but it was licensed here in the States to New York label West End Records, as you guys should know about West End. So it was licensed, and I played this to death when this came out. Came out in 1979, and it is, I would say, this is kind of an appropriate cover. The image is appropriate to the mood of this music. This is, in all ways, space disco. It's spacey, it's kind of ambient, it's dark. Not so much in a Giorgio Moroder kind of way. A little different, because it's got the R&B vocals on it, but it's got a lot of quirky stuff here. The breakdowns are fantastic. They're like ambient. They're kind of dark. So this is space disco at its best, and one of my favorites. And strangely enough, nothing from this album gets played much at the parties I go to, which is kind of weird. There are a lot of great records, a lot of great tracks that don't get played that should. The lead-off hit here was Everybody Get Dancing. The Pistolero is great. This is out of order here. Let's Dance should be number one. Let's Dance has an awesome breakdown. Some people don't like Disco Galaxy. It's probably one of the weakest cut on here, but it's still pretty good. But Shake has a very quirky bass line. Some say it was ripped off from an African artist, and it might be, but they did something very different with it. Very quirky, and also for 1979, what sounds like an analog polysynth, it would probably have to be the OBX, maybe the Prophet 5, but I'm not sure about that. That would be a very early example of an analog poly on a record in 1979, because a good friend of mine once told me, you didn't start to hear new instruments on records until about a year after the instrument came out, and I found that to be mostly true. So who knows what it is? It sounds more Obear'S to me. But anyway, spacey disco, soulful vocals. The drummer on here, Marty Simon, really good drummer, especially what he's doing within these disco contexts are pretty out there in terms of his fills. Really good space disco. You can get the American pressing, like I said, this is on West End Records. You can get the one out of Canada, forget the label that's on, and I think France had a pressing as well. Another record that can be found, and it's not expensive, it won't break the bank, worth every penny, Bombers 2. So that is this episode of ROBEAR'S Random Record Pulls. We'll see you next time.